This week, join me as I prepare for and kick off the Super Seconds Festival. The Super Seconds Festival is a fab event where over 250 makers take part selling off items with minor imperfections or items that are being discontinued. Maybe they were samples that never made it to the shop and those one-off pieces. The event runs twice a year. And I took part in the event the last 2 Octobers, and I've never taken part in the spring-summer events. And this year, I thought I'd change that, as I've got lots of things in the studio that could do with clearing way for some new goodies to come this year. And I decided to get ready by setting up a little area in my studio. I did this last year, but not in a very aesthetically pleasing way. And this year, I decided I was going to make myself almost like a little mini market area to help me organise and count all of my stock, and to also be able to go live from during the event itself. So that's what you can see me doing here. I'm organising all my different product types, and then once I have everything organised, it's time to go through and actually count each item type, each design, and make sure I know how many of each I've got to go on sale. Hi everyone, so I thought it was time I said a proper hello to the camera, and as I'm filming this, it is the Friday before the sale starts. So the sale starts in the morning and I am freezing in the studio. I cannot get warm today. It is a cold day, but I do have a thermal shirt on and fingerless gloves and a lot of heaters. It's never a good sign when I can't get warm. It usually means I've overdone it and I'm risking a bit of a flare-up of my chronic illness, fibromyalgia, and my eye has also been twitching all day, so I think it's safe to say I'm just tired. We had a very busy day in the studio yesterday, me and Mum, getting stock ready for a new stockist. It's a brand new shop that's opening that I'm going to have my stock in, so they wanted a lot of everything to start with, so it took us ages to pack up the stock. And there's a lot we've been juggling, as well as I pulled my back last week and that's still hurting. So, it's, a tiring week. However, an exciting one because I'm taking part in the Super Seconds Festival and I love the Super Seconds Festival. It's a really good excuse to have a proper clear out, and considering I last did this in October, so like 6 months ago. Previously, I've never applied for the March sale, but I've accumulated so much second stuff that I was like, do you know what? I'm going to apply to do it in the March as well, because I can't believe how much stuff has already built up. I think the next week after we did the second sale last time, I ended up with loads of bookmarks that were seconds, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. There's probably over 100 bookmarks, so it's just gone on from there. And I decided this time it might be fun to create this little market area that I have behind me, and I've even popped up the tiniest little Super Second sign, which it could stand to be twice the size really, but I made it and I thought, you know what, it'll do, we're not going to print it again. the effort was there. And one reason is I thought it'd be fun for making content and stuff, but the second reason is last time I did set up, in not quite an aesthetic way, a Super Seconds kind of table, and it really helped for counting and sorting stock, but also packing orders, assuming we get some, because it was all there, all the Seconds stuff together, and I was putting the orders together and passing them to Mum, who was packing them, and it worked really, really well. So I thought, why don't I create almost like my own little shop area to pick from? Also, tomorrow, I've put my name down on the list, I've never done this before, to go live with the organisers of the event. They're doing like 2 minutes with different makers, and you can show what you've got in the sale. And I thought it'd be nice to have like my little backdrop and maybe go live a couple of times, either picking stuff for orders or showing what's sold, what's still available as the time goes on. So we'll see how that goes, whether that ends up happening. It's obviously a bit more of a juggle with it being on a weekend and that being like family time, but we will see. And as you're watching this, the sale went live on the 7th and 8th of March, so last weekend. However, the sale is still on all of this week until the following Sunday, the 15th of March. So if you're watching it before the 15th of March, the sale is still on. And so I thought I would show you what I've prepared to start with, and we'll see how it goes. And then I'll bring you along for the launch tomorrow. So let me show you my little setup. So we've got like my middle sale table here, and I have just utilised the space as best as I possibly can whilst not piling everything too high, so that I can actually like organise and pick from stuff, and it's just easy and I can see everything. This rail was already over the top for taking photos and stuff. I hang backdrops from it, so that's why I just hung the little sign. But I've also just hung my Seconds caps on the corner. I've got 4 of these left. We don't stock these anymore, and then they'll be discontinued. On this end of the table, we've got stickers and sticker sheets. So we've got 2 lots of seasonal sticker sheets, so there's about 4 or 5 of those left. Then we have, these went like hotcakes last time, the Bookish Deco sticker sheets that are usually only available in the journaling kits. And then these ones, these A5 sticker sheets are from the Where To journaling kit, which is also being discontinued now. And these sticker sheets are usually available in there, and they were extras that we had. And these are the individual stickers that were in that kit as well. It's like a cute little map. Is that upside down? Yeah, of course it is. There you go. So they'll be sold separately. These are being discontinued because we don't do glossy stickers anymore, and they were sent to me by mistake. We've got very slight offcuts on these, as you can see. It's not exactly in the middle. These ones all have like a little nick in them there on the white bit of the sticker, but that's it. That's all that's wrong with those. And then these ones were a bit of a sample mishap. So it's a glittery sticker. It says "Love Who You Are" on a glitter infinity. These middle bits pop out like so. But it was meant to have white printed behind the quote to make it easier to read. You can still read it, but it was a mishap that I got reprinted, so they're being sold off to clear. Then we have absolutely tons of ceramic ornaments. I don't sell these anymore. Some are seconds and some are samples that never made it to the shop because I was doing new designs and then decided, no thank you, I don't want to do ceramic ornaments anymore. So like this one is a one-off, never forget the difference you make. It's got a very slight fade in on the lavender, but you can't really tell. Then for example, this is one I used to sell, and you can see it's just slightly fuzzy around here. It's a little bit smudgy behind the text, but like you can't really tell. So that would be a B grade. And then this is a C grade, which you can see it's slightly more blurred here and here, but it's like really highly discounted. So it's an absolute bargain, and it's still very beautiful. And then we've got some that never ever made it to the shop. Like we've got a Strut Your Stuff. We've got a Keep Rolling. We've got Home Is Where Love and Laughter Bloom. We have got a little picnic with Lottie and Bluebell. And we've got Life is an Adventure on the bike. So they were just ones I was playing around with. Then we've got tons of coasters where we've had little pressing mishaps. So this would be a B grade, and I don't know if you were able to pick it up, but it's just slightly more faded in the middle instead of being complete vibrant pop of colour all the way across. And then this one is more faded in the middle. That would be a C grade. That's all that's really wrong with the coasters. They're still perfectly beautiful, in my opinion, anyway. And then back here, I've got 2 boxes jam-packed full of cards that are seconds and will be really, really cheap. So things that might be wrong with them are, for example, this has got a little white dot in the middle of the leaf. Don't know why. This has got a little dot up here. Don't know why. My brand new card collection, you'll have seen in my previous vlogs that the original order, some of the designs were slightly off centre, and also some of them had these little tiny wrinkles in the top, so they redid the damaged ones for me. So there's actually some of the brand new ones in the seconds. Then we've got 3 designs of bookmarks. These are the bookmarks I was talking about. So the first design is the Stay Curious, and some of these have just got tiny little marks on them. And then with these 2, the Just One More Chapter and the No Shelf Control, it was the colours. They had real trouble with the pink, and you might be able to see there's like a faint line across there and across there. It's only faint, you'd like have to move it to see it. And the same on the purple one. Where is it on that one? It's like across there and across there. And then because they've got contrasting colours on the back, some of them it also appears on the back, like the dark purple. You can see there's just a little bit of banding across there, but it's not very noticeable, but they'll be in as a bargain. Then moving across, we have various prints, mostly A4 left now because I don't do A4 in-house. I've got 3 that were samples that were never available in the shop. So we have Life is an Adventure with you every step of the way, and then We'll Face the Storm Together. And then we've got some wildflower prints, like the Be Patient with Yourself. In fact, this is the last one. We've got some of the Bookish Dreams, To Read is to Dream with Your Eyes Open. And then we've got a bunch of different retro ones, like Dial Up Your Confidence, for example. There's loads of different retro designs. So that's the print. We have got 2 of the mini pouches left. That's all we've got left of these, and then they'll be discontinued. This is also the last ever mouse mat. I'm not going to be doing mouse mats anymore. And the same with the Christmas decorations. This is the only design I've got left, and I've got 5 of them left. So don't get your tinsel in a tangle. There are a few in the seconds, but these are perfect condition ones. And then there are some in the seconds as well. So that's those. And then on the end here, this is chock full of pins. So I'm not going to get all the different pins out, but we have 2 B grade, 2 C grade. So the B grade will have like very minor marks and imperfections. On the C grade, they're a bit more noticeable, but that'll also be reflected in the massive great discount. I mean, everything's got big discounts. And then the top 2 are end of line pins. So it might be we don't do that metal anymore, or like the wildflower pin, we made it a bit smaller, for example. So it's just the last of the bigger size that we're trying to get rid of so that we can have them all consistent. Then I just popped up one of my temporary shelving units here on the end, which has mostly got mugs and stationery, but also some other key rings and bits. So on the bottom here, I have reading journals, which have really minor marks, or like the laminate is peeling slightly in places. I have some very old notebooks that I want to clear. And then let me show you an example of these. So my really cute gratitude pads, and all that's wrong with them is on the first print run, these header bars should have been cropped in line with this box, and something went wrong at the printers. It wasn't me. So they reprinted them for me, and I didn't want these to go to waste. So they'll be discounted to clear. And so it's still very pretty, still perfectly usable, and the notepad itself is in perfect condition. It's just that little mishap, so you can get an absolute bargain on those. And then we've got a bunch of our bullet journals, which there was a major calamity, I'm going to call it, when these were shipped. And these are so beautiful, like gold foiled. The quote's gold foiled, some of the flowers are gold foiled, the edge of the pages is gold foiled, and all the boxes were bashed in when they came, because of course they were. And there's just minor dents on these top corners mostly, or like sometimes on a bottom corner, and I just don't want to charge a fortune for them. So I roll them out when the clearance sale comes around, and we've not got many left now, and these are in the sale for £6. Like, that is practically daylight robbery. So grab yourself one of these, because I can't stand to look at the dented versions anymore. And a few people have actually said to me, Emma, if you hadn't have said anything, no one would have noticed. Like, but I don't want to pass something off that's not perfect as perfect. And you can just see in this corner, like, it is wrinkled and dented. But does it affect the bullet journal? No. And if you weren't looking closely, would you notice it? No. Then we've got mugs. And most of these, the problem is that they're just slightly faded on the corners. It just hasn't quite fully sublimated on the corners, and the corners are slightly more faded than the rest. So we've got all different designs, including, I don't think I'm going to be able to get rid of these, but here's a challenge. Do you know a Nadia or a Jenna? Because I did personalised mugs with the daily reminders on for Nadia and for Jenna, and I've got 2 of each where there was slight fading on the affirmation around this side, and it was like right before Christmas, and I just thought, oh, we can't be sending somebody this when it's like clearly a gift and whatever. And also there's very slight banding through here. These are going to be practically given away, because if I can find 2 Nadias and 2 Jennas, it'll be a miracle. But if that is you, or you know somebody, send it to them. Come and get this mug at a steal, because otherwise I'm just going to have to get rid. I have 4 lots of key rings. I have 2 seconds typewriters left. They just have little marks on the back. These are all perfect, as it were, but they were the first order from the manufacturer and they weren't on the right wood. So it was rectified, but I was left with about 80 of each key ring. So these are going to be massively, massively reduced. We've got the You Are So Loved, Life is an Adventure with little Lottie and Bluebell, and then Home is Where Love and Laughter Bloom with the little watering can cottage. So we've got all of those. And then the exciting thing is, will these still be here? I don't know. But I used to do spinner rings and they were one of my most popular products. And my manufacturer stopped doing them, and I haven't been able to find another manufacturer at a similar price point. But I found 8 of them while I was clearing out the studio. Can you see? They're a little daisy, if you can see the little face, with like hard enamel, and they spin. So they're like a little fidget ring. They were honestly so popular, and I have stockists asking me all the time, are you going to do the spinner rings again? And I just haven't been able to find a manufacturer, but it's got this really cute little face. I hope it's picking it up. And then, yeah, and it's adjustable on the back. So it's gorgeous, and they come boxed. I don't know if I'm going to reduce these because they have been really sought after, but there is 10% off full price items anyway. So yeah, I've got 8 of those, and then that's it. I have my 2 sticky note designs that I released last year, and I wasn't really 100% with the print like saturation on them. So we have Appreciate the Little Things and Sunny Days and Happy Hearts, and I'm just reducing these to clear. And I don't know if I'll do sticky notes again, but if I did, I'd find a different manufacturer where the paper type was different and the colours would really, really pop. But they're lovely pastel-y spring sticky notes. Perfect time of year, so I'll be reducing those to a bargain price. And then at the other end, I have my card spinners. So obviously I showed you the seconds cards. These are all perfect condition. The only reason I'm clearing them is that when I first did my cards, I had them on like a shiny cardstock. I actually decided to go in a different direction with the cards, and I now get them made by a different manufacturer, completely different cardstock. And that's what I'm using for orders. And I've been left with all these cards that I massively over-ordered, thinking the stock would last me ages, not realising that I would end up getting my cards remade. So these are going to be really discounted, plus I'm offering mystery bundles that are 5 cards for £3.50. It's normally £2.50 for one, so it's a ridiculous price, and I will mix and match them up for you. And there's different ones for each collection, so like for the wildflower cards, the retro cards, the punny cards, the quote cards, etc. I don't have any of my new collection in these because obviously that was after I switched to the new card stock, so that's that, but there's absolutely tons. And yeah, so I spent a lot of time getting the listings ready on my Shopify store, and this didn't take as long because I had a lot of listings I'd done for previous second sales, and I just unarchived them and made them active again. I always create all my listings ahead of the event and mark them as out of stock, but put them on the website in a special sales preview page so people can see what's going to be in the sale, but they can't buy those items before the sale kicks off. So that meant on the morning of the sale, I had to come in and input all the quantities for all the different items. And then the people that had signed up to my VIP email list got an exclusive shopping window for an hour before everything went on general sale. And that was at 9 o'clock on the Saturday, and then everything else kicked off at 10. Okay, so I have got tons of cards, stationery and gifts, all with like positive, uplifting messages. I've got some examples, I can't possibly hold them all, but I've got pins. I've got loads of different pin designs. These are just a few. We've got prints. I just don't make my prints in-house anymore, and these are the last of them. Some of them were just like one-off samples, like these ones that have got the little lamb and the duck on. There's a few of those individuals. We've got absolutely tons and tons of greetings cards, again, like punny ones, retro ones, we've got floral ones. We've also got some that are like focused around neurodivergent people specifically, because you don't see that a lot, and either they're seconds and they're super reduced. Am I done? Terrible. Or there's mystery bundles is what I was going to say. Good morning, everyone. It is Super Seconds Festival Day, and I have had a hectic morning. So I moseyed around the kitchen, got myself a coffee, probably got in here about 8:15, and I thought, yeah, no problem. All I've got to do is set the quantities for the items, like update the inventory for them, because they'd all been on my website with zero stock so that people could browse them but not buy them before the sale started. And so I thought 45 minutes, that's loads of time. My emails were scheduled, all of that was done, so that's all I had to do. Oh, well, it was getting closer to 9 o'clock, which was the VIP shopping hour, and I was like frantically putting these quantities in. And I think I definitely underestimated how long it would take, because I decided to offer all the cards that we've got individually as well as in bundles. So I had all the seconds cards to list, and then all the individual cards to list that are like end of line, and that was taking a long time. So I put them to the end and made sure I got all the other products up first, and then went back and did them. But by the time I'd actually done the cards, it was probably about 9:10, so I did feel a bit bad about that. But only a few people had checked out so far, and actually they did get cards and stuff, so I think they must have seen them go up. But anyway, I digress. That was not my best work, getting that done for 9 o'clock. But hey, lesson was learned for future. It took me about an hour, I'd maybe leave an hour and a half just in case. I swear there used to be a way you could just go down the bulk editor and drop the quantities in, but I couldn't find it, so I was having to go into each listing, and that slowed me down. But anyway, other than that, it's been a lovely morning. It was nice to see people shopping during the VIP hour, so we got 13 orders during the VIP hour. I think we had 48 people on the VIP list, and then 13 placed an order during that 1 hour. And then the sale's been open about an hour and a half to everybody. And we've had, let's have a look, another 10. So that's nice. And it all adds up. Things are such good bargains in this sale. You can actually get quite a lot for, say, like £20. and not feel like you're spending a fortune, but actually you're getting loads for your money. And then for me, all those £20 add up. Like I'd say, yeah, £15 is probably the average order value. Yeah, I will be talking about my thoughts on the sale and why I like it once it's wrapped up and we do like a bit of an evaluation of how it's gone. But it's a really nice start to the morning. And I always find with Super Seconds that like there's a flurry in the morning and then it goes quiet because people are doing things because it's a Saturday, and then Saturday night people start sitting and browsing again. So yeah, that's nice. I am also trying to clear off stock that goes out of stock, like archive the listings and keep an eye on it, because I don't want people just seeing like sold out, sold out, sold out, where we had ones of things. So I've done that this morning. So everything that's up there now is live, and then I'll have another look later. And then for the first time, I put my name down to go live with Super Seconds Festivals. So they do these lives where they get makers up for 2 minutes to show what they've got on sale, to talk about it. Lessons were learned there as well. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. So I'd set up like a little coffee table next to me with examples of items, and I was stood in front of my display and I was really nervous. I don't know why, but I just was. And then we didn't know what order we were going to be in. And I think there were about 5 or 6 makers before me. So I'm just stood in front of my little table for like 40 minutes thinking, am I going to be next? Am I not going to be next? And then it's my go and she starts the timer, and I've showed like 4 or 5 products and she's like, right, your time's up. And I was like, what? And I wasn't keeping an eye on the timer really, because I was too busy looking at my products and making sure they were on the screen and thinking what I was going to say. And I obviously went into too much detail. I should have just said, we've got these this price, these this price, because I had loads more things to show. So I think I showed notepad, prints, coasters, pins and cards, if I haven't already said that. And I ran out of time when I was talking about the cards. So I could have gone on for maybe 5 minutes at the pace I was going, because like I didn't get to show any stickers. I didn't get to show my bullet journals, which are like such a bargain. I didn't get to show mugs, my reading journals, bookmarks, spinner rings. Yeah, and there's loads I didn't show. Yeah, whoopsie. But hopefully it gets people looking on the website if there's something they saw that they liked. And I did mention that we do stuff for neurodivergent people, so that was good. That might pull some people in, and then hopefully they'll see the other things that I didn't get to mention, but never mind. What I might do is at some point, probably tomorrow, is maybe go live on Instagram and show what I've got on sale, just on my live, and then I can just take as much time as I want. And yeah, I might do that. But it's obviously a little bit more awkward on the weekend because I've got family stuff going on, like it's my time with my little girl as well. I've basically left my husband to it all morning, which is fine. And then we're seeing family in an hour, and then we're going out with family tonight. So it'll probably be tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes. I'm so tired. I'm hoping he can get me a warm cup of coffee now, because I'm tired and I haven't warmed up yet this morning in here. It's so cold. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that the day continues to be good, and I am just going to distract myself for a while now and stop refreshing Shopify. So I'll see you in a bit. Hi everyone, it is Sunday and the Super Seconds Festival has been going really well. So yesterday and this morning, we've had 36 orders, and I'm so grateful for those orders, I can't tell you. It has been a slow start to the year, and it's really nice to be able to clear some stock, clear some things that would have otherwise gone to waste, which obviously I don't want. And yeah, I'm happy about that. So what I thought I would do is I've popped up a temporary table. Let me show you. So like this is where we pack orders and the stock is here. But obviously my Super Seconds setup is just behind me as I'm stood here. But I've just got my husband to pop up this little temporary table here. And then what I thought I would do is print off the orders and just lay them all out. And then Mum can get started on packing those tomorrow, and they're already picked and ready to go. And then I can see what's left and what I could do with promoting, because the sale is going to carry on throughout this week. So maybe I'll go live, maybe I'll do it on stories. I've just put a little story poll up on Instagram to say which would people prefer, and then that'll get over the disaster of yesterday's live where I just didn't say anything I wanted to say. So, I'm feeling quite tired and achy today because it was a busy day yesterday, but let's get printing and picking and organising and clearing. I'm excited. So I've come out and I'm getting ready to do my live. So you can see here I've got my tripod and my light set up in front of my little market area that I set up, and I'm just going to literally go through all the products and show what we have available. I managed to pack up some orders earlier, so that's good. And yeah, we'll just see if it drives any extra sales. I've not done this before when I've got a sale running, so let's just see. Hi everyone, welcome to my Super Seconds impromptu live from my little temporary Super Seconds market that I've set up. And I thought I would hop on a live and show you what is still available in the sale, because there's tons. I have had some lovely orders and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much from the orders that have come through so far. But there's still lots left because, unfortunately, because obviously you don't want it as a small business owner, I've got loads and loads of seconds available in my shop, and things that are end of line that we're discontinuing, and they've all been reduced to really low prices to try and make some way for some new stock coming this year. So I thought I would hop on the live because there's loads of bargains still available. So I've just had a little count up and I've actually packed 20 orders. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 left to go. And then I might have had another one come in, but I'll just leave that for tomorrow. So I might see if I can do them, because some of these are quite quick to pack because I did ones that were more awkward. So let's see if I can do it. I am extremely exhausted. In fact, I'm gonna have to put you on something because my arm's killing me. We'll put you there. Can we? Ooh! This is not what we meant to do. Okay, I can't move you right now, so I'm gonna crouch. I got up early yesterday to start the sale. Then we had family visiting. That was lovely, but also tiring, because when you're trying to talk to people and you've got a toddler like over the top going blah, 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 trying to get your attention. Find cross noise quite exhausting, being autistic. So that's always a difficult one. And then we got ready and we went out. We went out, child-free. I actually finished some conversations. It was glorious. Had a lovely meal out, had one drink, didn't sleep. And then today, went to pick up my little girl from her nanny's house, took her to the zoo as a reward for potty training. You don't need to know the details. And then we went to the zoo, came back, did some work, had some more visitors, did some more work, cooked the dinner, did some more work. So I'm absolutely exhausted. But I need to get some of this cleared because I've got my Dragon's Den style speed dating event thing for the greetings card industry in a week, and I've got new products to create for it that I'm really behind on. And so I can't spend all tomorrow on orders. However, I didn't think I'd actually get any packing done. I just thought I'd get them ready for Mum to pack, but it'd be really good if I could just get them done. And then with the sale being on throughout the week, if we get any more orders in, she can just do them at a normal pace. Also, she's not in on Thursday because we're going to a craft exhibition at the NEC, so we're both taking the day off. So yeah, it'd be good to get these done. So let's see. I'm going to give myself a 9 o'clock. Oh. It's 1 minute past 9. I was going to say I'm going to give myself a 9 o'clock cut-off. Is that what time it is? No. Oh, it is as well. It's 1 minute past 9. Okay, I'm going to give myself a 9:45 cut-off. So whatever I can get done in the next 45 minutes, that's what I'll do. And then I want to go take what's left of my makeup off and relax. So let's see how far we get. all doing okay. Some days have passed this week because it has just been so busy. I have to say, it's been really, really difficult running the Super Second sale whilst getting ready for this greetings card event I've got next week, which is like a Dragon's Den type event where you get to pitch to retailers. And I set myself a ridiculous challenge of designing 30 new cards before that event, because of course I did. And I am really down to the wire. There's been a lot of late nights, a lot of stress, but hey ho, it's fine. I will talk about that in an upcoming vlog, but I wanted to update you. Oh, printer's kicking off. But I wanted to update you on Super Second. So since I last spoke to you on Sunday, it is Friday now, believe it or not, and I have had another 10 orders throughout the week. So we've got 38, no, so we're up to 48 orders, and I am so pleased with that. I think I need to have a look at the final figures, and I'm going to do that in next week's vlog and talk about my thoughts on the festival in general, how it went overall, as well as some other stuff that's been happening behind the scenes this week. But overall, I'm so pleased. If I can get some of these items that are imperfect, or we just ordered too many of them in the studio, they're being discontinued for whatever reason, to some happy homes, that's amazing. And because it clears space in the studio and it gets money coming in for us to invest in new product collections. So that is amazing. So a massive thank you to anyone who placed their order. And let me know in the comments if you saw your order being packed in this vlog. I only showed a few. Now, when I last showed that order packing, I said I was going to give myself a 9:45 cut-off, and that did not happen. I ended up finishing at 11. So it got to 9:45, and I was so close to finishing all the orders, like packing them all. So I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to push on. So it was about 10 o'clock when I finished doing all the orders, but I hadn't done postage on any of them. And then it took me an hour to like do all the postage, organise all the shipping, do all the shipping labels, label up the products, arrange some collections and stuff, like all that just logistical admin, boring stuff. And then it was like 11 o'clock and I just said to my husband, bye, I'm going to bed now. I was just so tired. And I had to get up Monday morning and take my little girl to nursery and just start it all again. But it's fine. I did it and I was so pleased I did it. And I didn't tell my mum. And then I just sent her a message Sunday night when I got in bed and said, I've left you a few orders to do on the packing desk, and then when I get back from nursery drop-off, we'll have a little catch-up about what the priorities are for the day. And she was like, okay, good. And I think she was a little bit stressed because she was only working one day this week and there was going to be so much to do. And the orders that I'd left her were Etsy orders. So there were just a few of those. And then I came in and I was like, right, the good news is I've packed all the Super Seconds orders. And she was like, what? She was so shocked. And I think on the mum hand, worried, like, when did you do all that? You must be exhausted, tut. But on the other side, like, oh, thank God, because she actually had a full-on day of doing other stuff without having any of that to do. So it meant I could crack on with the new cards and she could do some other stuff that needed doing. So it was quite nice to surprise her in that way and be like, ta-da, I've already done it. So yeah, that was good. It was definitely worth pushing on. Now, as you're watching this, the sale is still on. So the sale doesn't finish until Sunday the 15th of March, unless you're watching it after that point, in which case I can't really help. But if you're watching it as it comes out, you still have 2 days left to shop the sale, and there are so many goodies still available. So make sure you go and check out the sale on my website. I'll leave a link in the description. And just to say sorry, this vlog is a couple of days late. It's just been very difficult juggling everything this week, and I've literally not stopped except for to get a bit of sleep. So I did it as quick as I could and something had to give, so I'm only human. But next week, I will come back and I will talk through this event compared to the other Super Seconds that I've done, my feedback from the event, what worked for us, what didn't work for us, and passing on any tips that I can for either taking part in that event or running a sale in general. I'll talk through the marketing I did, all that stuff. So there'll be loads and loads of tips and tricks in next week's video, as well as some other snippets of behind the scenes from this week. So I'm going to close out this vlog here. Wish me luck getting ready for the dragons on Monday. I can't wait to tell you more about that. And to be honest, I want to do it and I want to give it my all, but I'm so looking forward to being on the other side of it and just being able to take my foot off the pedal a little bit, because I've really been overdoing it. Anyway, I hope you're all having a fabulous week. I hope you've snapped up some bargains. If you go on the Super Seconds website, which I will leave in the description as well, you can filter for whose sales are still running this week. There's loads of other makers still with lots of fabulous bargains available, so check out them as well. There are all kinds of makers, so it's really great. I've discovered some amazing new makers every time that I've shot the sale or even just had a browse. So I'm going to stop waffling, because I've got another late night ahead of me. Take care of yourselves. And if I'm still surviving, I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.